trouble at the time. True man, hi. Was a quiet morning, quiet principle. There I start to get an uneasy feeling. My soul is severed to light of mouth. Proved to be accurate. The first evidence trouble came with the phone call from the teacher. Terry who needed help to disturbance. Qual disturbance. One misordered I would seem not to her. Intonation. Much to her probably. Much to her consternation. Students were bound in their tables. Lunch uniform making complete patience. Violation. Fiasco with school regulation. It took the principal only a moment to rank leaders who were just discerned. Vincent, 16, and Elena, 15, married to have been stirred up with protest. They gave it. It's like a piece down there. Wow, that's great, Russ. That's a great lesson. And the first part was about the instinct of the school principal, who taught 3,000 students. And the next paragraph was about things happened. And the latter parts are about how the accidents were. Actually, there were two students who were the ringleaders, trying to protest how terrible the food was in the cafeteria, and they throw the food on the table and on the ground to disparage the food, saying how terrible they are. And the school principal just took them to her office and telling them how to deal with the situation when they have trouble, when they have complaints about something in the school. Actually, she learned very quick action to pay off rather than long-term debate. On leaving her office, the student was told that she'll bring it up to the social class, social studies class when she returned. This is a very good story. Trouble. True. Our neighbor, the newspaper umbrella. Our neighbor is an affluent inventor whose latest brainstorm of feasible umbrella substitute has been featured in many magazines. As simple as the eye can discern, it is a hard plastic strip about the size of a ruler, which fits comfortably into a woman's handbag or a man's suit jacket. If a person is caught in a sudden rainstorm, he swings the plastic open in the shape of a cross. Attached to each arm is a clip-like device. Next, he takes the newspaper he is carrying and slides it under each of the 4 clips. Now equipped with a rigid head covering, he can sally forth to face the elements. To the consternation of umbrella manufacturers, it has been joined a brisk sale, especially among commuters. If it continues to do well, it could have a pernicious effect upon the umbrella industry. Patent pending. My kid brother Vern, a precious teenage automotive wizard, and I were inspired to do some inventing on our own. We thought it might be feasible to park a car parallel to a space on the street. Then, by pressing a button, we could raise the 4 tires off the ground slightly while dropping 2 special wheels perpendicular to the curb. It would then be child's play to roll into the narrowest parking spaces. We took the idea to Ed Green, who runs the Ford agency, in order to elicit his direction. After a perfunctory glance at our plans, to our chagrin, Ed snorted that our idea was inane, but we decided that he was just jealous of our brilliance. Tomorrow we're gonna start a computer that will enable us to measure the intelligence of perverse car dealers who like to deride the efforts of our junior geniuses. Hold that Nobel Prize. Speaking of inventions and discoveries, I just learned that an eminent scientist in Ohio has developed a pill that contains all the nutritive value of 3 complete meals. In addition to providing us with the vitamins and minerals that we need daily, this pill also gives a feeling of fullness. According to its sponsors, the pill nourishes safety. I hate to disparage such a laudable achievement, but to me, it seems like a most objectionable discovery. Rather than a scientific triumph, I'd be inclined to label it as an egregious blunder, a scientific disaster, a laboratory fiasco. Is there anyone in his right mind who thinks that a pill can replace the pleasure of devouring hot cornbread, masticating on a thick steak, biting into crisp French fries, or attacking chocolate sundae? I'm afraid that this is one pill I'll have to eschew chewing. I guess we'll never be able to quell those persistent rumors about the invention of old tires that will never go flat, stockings that cannot run, and pants that won't dry out. A verbose economist informed me that such products will never be marketed. Can you imagine, he asked, a manufacturer cutting his own throat? Why would he sell you an item that you'll never have to replace? No, my confidant whispered, it's part of their scheme of planned obsolescence to sell you merchandise with a limited lifespan in order to keep you coming back for more. I'm dubious about the existence of those perfect products but then I'm a skeptic. Trouble at Truman High. It was a quiet morning at Harry S. Truman High School. Too quiet. Principal Edna Suarez remarked to her secretary, "It's just when things are this serene that I start to get an uneasy feeling." Miss Suarez's sensitivity to life among 3,000 teenagers quickly proved to be accurate. The first evidence of trouble came with a phone call from the teacher in charge of the cafeteria who needed help to quell a disturbance. When Miss Suarez arrived on the scene, much to her consternation, students were pounding on the table, throwing food on the lunchroom floor, and making a complete fiasco of school regulations. It took the principal only a moment to discern who the two ringleaders were and to summon them to the office. Vincent, 16, and Elena, 15, John, admitted to having stirred up the protest. They gave their reasons: the poor quality of food served in the dirty environment. Our school cafeteria too. It's like a pigsty down there. It's like a pigsty down there, Elena declared. And the food is fit only for animals. What they have done, Miss Suarez told them, was inexcusable. And she ticked off a list of reasons that made their conduct dangerous and subject to school discipline. What you're trying to do, Miss Suarez explained, might be considered laudable by some, but you could have come to me, along with a committee, to register your complaints. I would have investigated, and if there was merit to your charges, would have taken the necessary action. Now I'll have to ask you to bring your parents to see me on Monday and to stay home until then. Vincent and Elena seemed to be chastened by Miss Jurie's election. However, on leaving her office, Elena told an assistant principal that in a similar incident on television show, she learned that dramatic action usually gets quicker results than lengthy debate. he advised her to bring up he advised her to bring that question up in her social studies class when she returned from suspension. Good. Now she can think more about home feelings and the real social life broadcasting on the TV that she watched. So during the social studies class, they can talk about how to deal with the problems and how to make some debate, or like how we can proceed the discussion, or how to solve the problems. Yeah, during her suspension, she can think about how to manage the discussion, how she would say about her feelings and what she saw on TV. So yeah, he advised her. Who advised? I didn't. Vincent? It's right. Assistant principal. The assistant principal ね。教頭先生か。The assistant principal advised her to bring that question up in her social studies class when she returned from suspension. Great. That's how she learned about. Yeah, she's only 15 years old. She's third graders.